Hello, my name is Cthulhu Monster. Welcome back to my ATM Gravitas 2 Let's Play. Last episode, we worked on getting our benzene in place. That's been chewing through some stuff there. I think it's doing pretty good. When I take a look down here, I think I got what? Yeah, a little under 1,000 buckets of benzene. I still don't have anything really hooked up for some of these things, so I definitely gotta work on that. And yeah, I think we've gone through about 20,000 mineral blocks. So our coal, and we're not using the charcoal at the moment to augment the wood tar. At the moment, I just want to make sure that when I do that, I can do it with like a limiting factor to make sure I don't burn through the whole thing. Thank you for joining me last episode. I know that one, I felt like that was a pretty rough episode in my mind. Not my best work. But yeah, this episode, I'm really excited. We're going to look into what's our next step for rockets, look into AE2, because if you guys might have been noticing, my FPS has really been dragging around the auto crafting area. So I want to identify some FPS issues, potentially think about some base expansion, that basically a lot of everything this time. Um, and then I think I need to actually also consider, I got to get some garlic planted this next round. Right now we're in summer. Yeah, late summer. So once autumn hits, I'm going to put some garlic in the ground because unfortunately, you might see I'm eating soybeans. I went to Cassidy's greenhouse for that. But yeah, my garlic, as I predicted, I was not able to eat the entirety of my garlic cellar before it went bad. But yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited to get into a few things here and kind of look at the base expansion and just see where the episode takes us. One item I plan on doing is I am going to replace these two distillery items here because now that I have the distillation tower, I can do better with getting my diesel. And I think it's important to make sure I'm not wasting those byproducts. Yeah, if I do replace this, I think I'm going to move it to the factory. And then in replacement of this, I'm going to actually look at getting my AE2 materials set up here. So I think that'll be great. One item I was given by Pepsi Cola. He was using my resources, but he was helping me out making some stuff. He made the advanced fluid drilling rig. So I'd like to kind of get the rest of that multi-block in place and do some oil drilling as well. I know we just set up benzene, but I want to make some of these too. All right, so we're going to need 8 solid machine casing, steel frame, 2 energy inputs, and 1 fluid output. I would like some ender tanks with this. So I have a singular ender tank right now. What makes ender tanks? So this is, oof, duh. All right, so it looks like not the worst. The obsidian plate's my only biggest question. So powdered obsidian, how do I get powdered obsidian? All right, so I can just grind that. So I'm gonna need some obsidian, and that's nice. One nice thing about my drilling, my mining gadget is it does make obsidian in the nether for me. So I generally am pretty good sitting on that. So we're going to make some ender tanks. I think that's step 1 of what I want to do today. Looks like pretty simple. These look like they're MV tiers. The field generator here does the magnesium sulfide. Okay, so it does require the superconductor from LV. All right, so this is a phosphorus phosphorus manganese phosphide. There we are. All right, so we're going to finish up getting this ender tank here, which is great. So we have 2 of those now. And then I'd like the ender chest as well. I want to put the ender chest on my miner, which is why I've been distracted. All right, looks like I'm also going to need to get some emeralds, because I am a little bit low on that. I just put a request in for 300 of my LV tiered circuits, because I do need them elsewhere. And look at all this. Look at it, what it's trying to do. I do appreciate auto crafting. Those who can do this without it, I'm impressed and terrified. But yeah, it'll be really lovely when I get this thing moving to the next level. See everything turned on down there. I know sometimes these chemical reactors need me to just kind of replace them, and I think that's just a factor with the integrated dynamics, unfortunately. But yeah, it'll be great. All right, I finally got my ender chest here. Excellent. So those of you who may or may not have used these, ender chests will work with dye as well as diamonds here. So if I wanted to create overall, anyone can use it, ender chest. So my ender chest is going to be for my miner. So I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to actually use orange because it's my favorite color here. So so these are my 3 stripes. Oop. So here, here, and here. So anyone with 3 orange right now could use it, but because I'm going to put a diamond on it, now it's coded specifically for me. So only I can make this chest that links to here. So now if I put this one here and do my 3 die, which it's good to know that it gets used up, this is linked to that one. So this is how I'm going to be able to pull my items from the miner directly into my storage and elsewhere. And I do plan on, so if you notice, it does break if I don't have it with the pink there, so it makes it back to public use. I didn't know that part, so excellent. Try to play it off like I did. So what I'm going to do is plan on setting this up. I do kind of want to give a warning signal that the miner's done. I think I could do that by setting like a countdown clock here if something doesn't come through on the orange here. When it hasn't done it for a few minutes or so, it could turn on a light. So I think I'm going to look into some logic for that. But I don't have a processing area right now, so I'm going to have to figure that out a little bit later. All right, and now the tank is the part that I really wanted because I do have that oil drilling rig. But first, let's set up let's set up one of my miners out in the world because it's time. I have one going on in the Nether right now that I keep having to restart, and that also could be really nice to have like a little indicator for that. And I probably should set my ore processing out from here. Trying to figure out if I need to start looking into trains or whatnot to try to expand further north, like in this zone versus nice and tight right here, because I do know that it causes some lag to have like everyone built out in one space. So, and I know a Coherto, I always say his name with an accent, sorry, Kate. Coherto is coming over here, I believe, where Volt's old space was potentially. So he's going right here, and Volt is off into the world right now. He's about 5,000 blocks away from the main one. He without snow and all that fun stuff. No snow. All right, what am I up to? Oh, I was setting up my possibilities here. So I set up a little importer and exporter for stuff. So if I wanted all of my raw Certus quartz into an item, I can just put something that already one of these drawers that has raw. It'll do it. Or I can throw it all back into the system. Um, this just tells you that laziness is what it is. I'm not one to. I just if I can have it if I can have a machine do it, I'll do it. It just makes my life a lot easier. All right, so I just have an MV miner here connected to my ender chest, and that'll be digging through this area. I do need to get this upgraded to my HV1 and potentially go EV, but yeah, I just wanted to at least make sure this was going well as planned. And then over in my base area, I just have this directly connected to my lazy importer here. So it's just going directly into my system. That's a little bit brave of me. We'll go with that word. Maybe stupid. We'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to be able to just dump that in there. And I do know that I could hide these for better FPS. I was just trying to organize still. Um, and this will probably, once I switch to AE, get switched up out as well. So, all right, let's take a look here. Another item I want to work on is the superconductor. So let's start working on setting up. I think let's see if we can do the mercury here, these materials here. So we're going to need the mercury, barium, calcium, cuprate ingot. So that is a mouthful. It looks like it's a hot ingot, so it's going to come through the EBF, and we're going to be making a dust. I might be wrong on there, but it looks like oxygen, mercury, barium, calcium, and copper on 4 will give us 14. Okay, that's not too bad. I am running some quartzite here because looking at the superconductor, I think barium is my biggest piece that I don't have, and quartzite can give me barite as an offset. So 33% chance, that's masked, sorry. Yeah, so it looks like 33% chance off of quartzite, I'll get that barite. And more if I go through the macerator again. So I'll take those odds. All right, for the advanced drilling rig here, I am going to need steel frames and the solid steel casing. So I'm just looking at the steel frames. I believe I had, I tend to just go in here and borrow some of these recipes for that. So what we're going to do is steel frame. I need 15 of these. It's 4 if I go this route on 4. So steel rods. Oh gosh, I'm going to need some of these. So let's go with getting like 100 of these crafted. And then I'm also going to need to get some solid machine casing. Let's see what that looks like. So make sure we're going for this one here. So that's an assembler recipe. I save nothing by doing it that route. So it looks like I will need steel frames for that as well. So I'll need 8 of those. So I'll need 15 plus 8 is 23. So I'll need 23 steel frames. Is my text just unnaturally large now? I don't know. Either way, I got garlic. Woo! I haven't been on in so many days. But yeah, the server's been pretty quiet, I think, right now. We're all just kind of got things going on in life, you know? I was on my last 2 soybeans. And that's the benefit, I think, really of the crop affinity is look how much garlic I got from that. That was ridiculous. Yep. So yeah, I can do 1 whole wall nearly. One thing you might notice as you look at my like top left screen here is I have terrible rates right now in my starter base for the FPS. I'm, it's still playable on my end. I'm not noticing as much, but I think it's pretty rough. And it could just be because I'm used to it. So I think the step we need to make is starting to look at AE2 and then condensing out these storage items so we can get some better frame rates in here. And then potentially looking at moving certain portions of the workshop out from these areas where I'd like to take, in time, we definitely need to get an ore processing space and kind of just separate out what's immediately within these few, 2 chunks here, these 4 chunks, I guess. There's a lot going on. And even as you get closer to my system over here, you could see it starts to pick up, but it's still a little rough. So hopefully AE2 is going to help with that. We'll look to getting into AE2 here today and then look to see about spreading out more. And if I have to do more buildings, that's fine. I can do that. But yeah, so you can see I'm getting closer to, gosh, even here's pretty rough. Let's get away from some of my machines. One, look how beautiful this is. Look how much gorgeous stuff there is. Like, I could expand out this way. Yeah, I'm getting an average of, 68 frames per second or so. Oop. And, right now it's holding really steady, about 100, and nearly 100. Then as I'm just going into some of these Greg Tech machines, it's just getting rougher. I was able to get an advanced fluid drilling rig up, and I did find out that one of the things that it needs to work is this MV energy hatch. When I was looking at the advanced drilling rig before, when I was looking at the multi-block for this, it was showing the ULV one where I was like, okay, well, I know it needs MV, but I was seeing 2, so I tried to run it with an LV hatch and do the trick that the EBFs have, but no, it actually needs to have an MV energy hatch here to be able to drill. So we are currently drilling raw oil here for really no reason. And yeah, right now, we're still at 98%. It hasn't been going that long, I think, just really since I began recording because I wanted to give that a go. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of look at my town here and start separating this out. I know there's some lag issues in different areas, and yeah, this just dives right here. And I wanna try to make this is gonna be a long series, or I feel like it's gonna be longer, still pretty long. So I want to make sure that lag-wise I'm not doing too much madness, even though I really love to just have condensed rows and rows of machines here. So first we're going to try AE2 to see if that does anything. And then if not, we'll start making some factory buildings out further. Maybe I'll look to see about getting some separation between my buildings, and potentially look into some ways to make that travel. I'm still just processing circuits in the background as I go, because you always need circuits. It's always good to have a healthy stock of those. And yeah, right now I'm refining quartzite for two reasons. One, I need barite for my, what is it called? Barite to get barium, I believe. Yeah, barium. And this is used in my um, titanium stuff. So definitely a useful endeavor, especially in the future. So I'm just running that, but also we're going to look into getting AE2 here. So it's been a while since I've done AE2. I do love it. I have a lot of fun with it. But it does mean that I have to look at things just a little bit differently when I look at this pack, because it's going to be different for this. So yeah, let's kind of take a look. If you haven't done AE2 before, I'd love to know if you'd like me to kind of walk through it a little bit more. But first, we're going to look at the ME controller here and see what's part of the ingredients. So the ME controller is really like the brain of our system, and all of these, are items that we're going to be able to manufacture. And let's see here. So we're going to need the engineering processor, which we already are making the plastic circuit boards, but we'll need these printed engineering circuits. And that's where I ran into seeing that we actually have wafers for this one. So when we're looking at the wafers, we have Certus wafers here, which is step one. And then we're going to take those Certus wafers and we're going to put them through an MV laser engraver, which there's no way to make better ones here. So this will be pretty easy to set up. So we're going to make some engineering wafers, calculation wafers, and logic wafers. And then those get cut down into what looks like um, eight individual for each one. So kind of the walk down here. Let's get the Certus Boole also here. That's a terrible, Buell? You just end up stuttering about stuff. So to make the Buell, we're going to need to make certane here. So let's mark that. And that is a chemical reaction with chlorocertane. So this is kind of where the escalation, not the escalating, the cascading one here goes. So we have to do the dichlorocertane, which, yep, when you look at that, this is the one that comes from the trichlorocertane. And this itself is using the Certus dust and the hydrochloric acid. So I'm really excited that we have hydrochloric acid. And it looks like it's one Certus dust gives us one bucket here, and then hydrogen gas as well in the chemical reactor. So the dust itself can be made by electric blast furnace with carbon and Certus quartz dust, which we do have. We don't need to process anything for that. From electrolyzing it, I didn't see any solids for that, so I'm not too worried on that. So what we're going to do is take Certus dust, work on making Certus dust in our electric blast furnace here. And I've already been getting Certus quartz dust from processing the quartzite. So this right here is what we're going to run through the EDF. So let me just take a quick look at the recipes here with the EDF. We could make silicon here, but I'm not sure what that makes in here. Okay, so I am seeing some use to it, but I don't believe the printed silicon there's no actual use for printed silicon in this pack. They go through the wafers instead to they use alloys and whatnot after you get the printed circuits. I just want to check to see what other recipes there are to make sure I understand if there's going to be anything more. So we won't be bulk growing that, but we might need Certus quartz here. Quartz glass might be a thing, and it looks like distilled water is going to be a factor here. And let's take a look at this here to see what's part of this. So view cell, cutting knife. Oh, that's interesting. So that's what the Daylight Centers uses. The Certus quartz glass was one of the pieces that I saw that might come into play. is because we can actually make Certus quart crystals, budding quartz, but it does take a lot of work and we can't make perfect ones, is what I was seeing. So we're not going to worry about that right now. Then we're going to be looking at cables here as well. There's three types of cables that I definitely want to look at. There's the Fluix ME cable here, which is kind of one of the main ones here, which uses the quartz fiber and a Fluix crystal, as well as liquid fiberglass. Oh boy, the shopping list here is just insane. All right, so quartz fiber, this is pretty easy. Wire mill, we got lots of nether quartz, so we're going to probably focus on using nether quartz for that. Flux crystals, trying to remember how this would go. So I'm going to take a look. I think we're going to be using the mixer for these, but I'm not positive, which the charged Certus crystal is the piece that's going to take a little bit of time here. There's a charger, which, are we able to make the charger? Okay, a charger does exist, but the polarizer, we're able to put these Certus quartz in. So that's where we're going to need those Certus quartz. So yeah, kind of a lot of roundaboutness to everything, but definitely a lot to think about. I think when we process these, we're definitely going to want to run through the potential sifters here to get those Certus quartz. So a very long spiel of, oh my gosh, AE2, this is why I've been avoiding it. But if it can help us with our frames and with a little bit more reliable crafting, it's probably time to start working on developing this. So we're going to start with Certus Dust and, see, talked through the day. We're going to start with Certus Dust and then work on that. I have one of my EBFs right now just still working on titanium here. And this one over here is still using nitrogen. So let's just see if this will require nitrogen here. So it's not going to require nitrogen, and it does want 2 carbon for each of these. So let's grab carbon dust as well. Okay, so it looks like we're going to actually not have enough carbon dust for this. So let's look at manufacturing some more of that. I'm going to only put 2 stacks in there then. All right, and this. Then, yep, Certus dust is already coming in. So that's actually really quick. Wow. And I am boiling alive right here. We'll grab the hot titanium. I'll be ever so thankful that we are not in Greg Tech New Horizons, where we would be burning our hands off. Or other stuff, to be honest. I haven't followed through the titanium lines with that mod pack when I watch it. All right, our diesel is still sitting pretty good. We're at 6 million, so 6,000 buckets, over 6,000 buckets. And now we're getting some new raw oil to work on. So, and this is not even, we haven't even started using our benzene that we have. So kind of just messing with all of it to give it a go. No preference either which way at the moment. I just want to make the machines and process things, and that sometimes means you get a lot of benzene that you're not using. Okay, so we're getting the Certus quartz here. So we're going to be looking at getting some chemical reactors with the hydrochloric items here. Let's see here. What I am thinking of doing is diesel's sitting pretty good. A lot of my stuff still runs off of diesel. So should I replace this or call it good for the moment? It's hard to decide. I think I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to move over to this location here and make a temporary AE2 setup. And I normally don't like to create too much temporary, but since AE2 is going to kind of rip out the spine of my storage system, which that's a nice way to say it, ripping the spine out. But because it is going to do that, I think I'm going to, oh, but then the snow would fall and hit me. Terrible. I am truly torn right now. Let's see here. Maybe what we need to do is look at this objectively. How am I going to do this? I was tempted to go to the moon and leave all my problems behind, or at least the thought of my problems. I do want my AE2 system to be in there. How bad is it in here? Let's just ask, how bad is it in here? And I just don't see what's causing it per se. The integrated dynamics is possible, but I mean, hopefully you guys can see this all right. I'm not sure how the quality works. Like for me, that could still move around pretty good. It's not too jerky. Um, I'm gonna set it up in here. I know I probably shouldn't, but I'll create it as an offline system here. This is still my auto space, so let's look at going upstairs with this, because um, if I do get AE2 in here, which I mean, let's be honest, once I get AE2 in here, I don't know where I want the brain of it. I really do like to typically have like a really fun sculpture around it or whatnot, but I'm just not seeing the potential here. So I think I'm just gonna have to settle with something and then be okay with it. Oh gosh, that hurt me in my soul. All right, so I went ahead and I removed this set of the diesel setup here that was previously there that was working with the heavy oil. And I have set up two distillation towers to handle both the heavy oil and in the future the raw oil. But for the moment, I do have it just two distillation towers running the raw oil. As you can see that my FPS right now, especially with just the bad weather in the US right now, my internet is just not the greatest. Uh, so I'm just gonna work without my shaders until I get some of that fixed up. But what I have here is I'm seeing I set these two distillation towers here up. They are sharing the heavy oil right now. Previously, you might remember this was up at 8 million or 8,000, and I've just got, it's haha, we see it today, goes down to 5, just under 6,000 here. So I also put my diesel and my hydrogen gas here connected to the system. And both heavy oil and our future raw oil here will have the same outputs. So right now, all of this goes to the same. Um, you can see that this all goes in the integrated dynamic system, and these are all of the storage locations for that. So yeah, I think we have to call it here for the day on this. All right, so I'm going to end it here. This episode has been a bit, I think it's been over 12 days since I up an episode. So thank you guys for your patience. As I have a work project that's going to last for a few more months here, so I'm going to fit these episodes in where I can. And yeah, I am a Cthulhu monster. I play on Pilpo's Patreon server. And yeah, feel free to pop into Pilpo's Discord or the ATM Discord. There's a lot of cool folks there who love this type of game and are very helpful. So thank you much. Bye.